Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to review Spider-Man Homecoming in honor of the passing of our good friend and co-host, Horatiu Zglimbea.
Michael Bay, you did this. You killed my friend.
Horatiu died last night out of shock at how bad the last Transformers movie was.
He never recovered. After the review, he just went into a coma and he never...
It was too much when he learned
woke up.
that Michael Bay still had a career. It was just, his heart couldn't take it. But yeah, I got the call last night. His widow Liz called me and she said, Dan, Horatiu, you were his best friend. You were the best man at our wedding. He left everything to you in his will and he wanted you to officiate his funeral service. And I said, I'd be honored to, but I'm filming The Take tomorrow. I can't fit it into my schedules. Is there any way we could combine the two? She said, The Take was the most important thing Horatiu ever did with his life.
It's true. It's true.
She was fine with it, and so this is Horatiu's funeral service as well as our review of Spider-Man.
We hope you all are enjoying this.
Let's crack a couple brewskis in honor of our friend, our good friend. It's communism.
It's a communism. God damn it. I hadn't talked to him since after the thing. He just wouldn't talk. Did he talk to you at all?
You know what the last thing he said to me was? He said, theme song!
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be?
Welcome back to the Horatiu Zglimbea Memorial Service / Spider-Man Homecoming review. If you purchase any Baby Communist t-shirts, the proceeds will go to keeping the show going. It'll all go back into the show, but Horatiu would have wanted it that way.
He would have.
Yeah, so let's get into Spider-Man. What is your personal relationship with the web slinger?
With Spider-Man, you know, I liked Spider-Man when I was a little kid with the cartoon back in the early 90s. When the Sam Raimi Spider-Man first came out, I was all about that. I remember there was a lot of hype about it because they had to reshoot a lot of it because of the 9/11.
Oh, that's right. Do you remember that
Yeah.
trailer? That was an awesome trailer.
It was an awesome trailer, and I would have liked to see what they did with the Twin Towers, but they're gone. So I've been pretty much a fan of the movies. Third one, obviously, is not that good. I
actually like the third one. I'm in the minority there. I think it's a disappointing entry in that trilogy, but you know, it's an entertaining movie, and I think the black suit Spider-Man is.
There are elements of it that I liked. Did you see the Andrew Webb ones? Because I didn't. I saw the first one and was...
Unfortunately, I did. I'm glad that Marvel Studios was able to step in, and they were setting up a Sinister Six movie, and just thank God we didn't get that. Yeah, but my relationship to Spider-Man actually goes back pretty far. I'm a pretty huge fan. I brought in for a little show and tell my collection here of Spider-Man.
So we got...
There's all these comics.
Oh, I had this game. Watch out! So yeah, you definitely are a fan. Apart from our little incident we had there, this is a lot of Spider-Man stuff.
So I can speak with some authority when I say that this is probably the truest Spider-Man to the comic of all the iterations we've seen in movies.
See, now I'm not a big fan of the comics. I'm not a fan of comics in general, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I did as well. I really did. Like, I was very trepidatious about another reboot of Spider-Man, of course. But I think, yeah, I think they were actually able to do something a little different with him this time around.
It felt like a John Hughes movie.
Oh yeah.
With the occasional little bits of action, but
I was surprised at how much comedy there was. And
was
yeah,
a lot.
It's connected very blatantly to John Hughes with that clip of Ferris Bueller running through the neighborhood. Yes. This is essentially a comedy.
Yeah, I would say that this is not your normal Marvel action movie. I found myself laughing a lot more than I did throughout any other. Yeah. Even when you think of Guardians of the Galaxy, it was directed by what some would say a comedy director.
They did a lot of slapstick humor with Spider-Man. I'm surprised it's taken 6 movies for us to get to a gag where Spider-Man's in a park and he's forced to run. There's nowhere to swing from, you know? That seems like a pretty... I've seen that online and like web comics and stuff, so. Let's talk about the casting of Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
I thought he was a great Spider-Man. I thought he was funny. He definitely didn't look, you know, like an adult, like some of the other Spider-Men do.
Yeah, we finally have a Spider-Man that looks like he actually belongs in high school.
No, it's a funny thing, because when we were leaving the theater, some people were complaining that he was too young. And it's like, well, he is in high school.
I think I understand like where they're coming from, because this is the first movie, I think, that I had like this existential crisis in the theater where I felt extremely old, you know? Like,
this is the first time that's happened for you?
Well, like, yeah, like, seriously. It's like 2002, I saw Spider-Man in theaters, and I was 8 years old, and it's just like, this is the first Spider-Man that's actually been younger than me, you know? And like, life was just so much better back then, and all my friends around me are dying now. The world's going to hell in a handbasket.
But let's talk about something a little bit different here, because this movie does have a nice distinction in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I guess, since post-2010, where this is the first one that hasn't been produced by Disney fully. With the whole Disney world-building universe, it's become very dire. Everything has to be a little bit too serious. And what I liked most about this is that the world wasn't at stake. It was a very small, contained...
We talked about it in our Civil War review. These Marvel movies are getting way too bloated by all this...
You're getting way too bloated.
They have to keep upping the stakes, and they finally pulled back and they told a more personal story. He's a street-level crime stopper, you know, crime fighter.
I stopped a Grand Theft bicycle. Hey, could you do me a favor? Hold on to that. Is this anybody's bike? Oh, I helped this old lady and she bought me a churro, so that was nice.
I didn't feel like Robert Downey Jr. was too weighty on it.
For the amount he was put in the marketing, it was like, don't worry, this isn't just a Spider-Man movie. Like,
No way! I'm gonna watch the NBA Finals with Mr. Stark!
they were really beating you over the head with that. But yeah, he didn't overshadow Spider-Man in his own movie.
It's definitely a Spider-Man movie that has occasional Iron Man in it. I'm so glad they didn't put that, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, they just stayed away from that. They stayed away from Uncle Ben, whereas Amazing Spider-Man, they just tried to say the same thing in different ways and ended up feeling just, you know, like they were tiptoeing around it.
But your father lived by a philosophy, a principle, really. He believed that if you could do good things for other people, you had a moral obligation to do those things.
This one just completely, he's been Spider-Man just like Spectacular Spider-Man here. Where is it at?
We're looking for Spectacular.
It's a DVD.
It might have fallen.
Yeah, it probably did. Anyways.
Wait, is this one it?
Here it is. In this TV show, he starts as Spider-Man. He's been Spider-Man for like a year, and I think that's the way to go about it, you know?
Yeah, the origin story in this, they handled very well. It was, what, 2 lines of exposition while they're walking down the street. We all know the story of Spider-Man. We don't need to be hammered with that origin again like you are with certain other animal-themed superheroes.
There were some rumors that Steve Buscemi was going to play Uncle Ben, so maybe we'll get a flashback. That would have been...
Would Steve Buscemi be able to get with Marisa Tomei? Because that's another thing we got to talk about, Aunt May.
Everyone wants to bone Aunt May.
Everyone in this movie wants to bone Aunt May.
That's pretty much all we know about her character.
Yeah. Which I thought was great, because you know you're so used to the old little sweet little Aunt May, and now you got Marisa Tomei.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a fan of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. Like, I appreciate that this one went in a completely different direction. Although there are still a lot of similarities. You got that sequence. Well, it's spoilers.
Should we just say spoilers from here on out? If you want
spoilers on screen, don't.
Yeah, if you want to skip the spoilers, skip to. All right, so one of the great twists for me was the Vulture twist when you find out that Michael Keaton is actually the father of the Liz character, who is Peter Parker's love interest.
That's the only thing that wasn't spoiled in the trailers.
Yeah, it's the only thing that wasn't spoiled in the trailers. If you've seen the trailers, you kind of know all the plot points, which is kind of why I'm glad the movie was so comedic, because you know you saw a lot that you saw in the trailer, but there was so much of the comedy that wasn't thrown in there that definitely kept the movie alive.
Yeah. What did you think of Michael Keaton as a villain?
I thought Michael Keaton was a great villain. I thought that this is one of the actual few Marvel character villains where you actually get to kind of see where they're coming from and actually kind of understand where they're coming from as a character, as opposed to, I'm bad and I'm gonna blow up your world.
I don't know. I like Michael Keaton, his performance, but it's kind of overkill to cast Michael Keaton in this role. I wasn't a big fan of his character's motivation. He's just like, we're the 99%.
The rich and the powerful, like Stark, they don't care about us.
Yeah, but as far as Marvel characters go, that's about 99% more motivation than they normally have.
Yeah, I mean, like, he is playing the Vulture, so that's not a huge title to live up to. Getting back to just Tom Holland in the casting, like, he was just a very charismatic lead. He actually looks like a nerd, you know, like, as opposed to Andrew Garfield, who was like a hipster, who was skateboarding to freaking Coldplay in the last movie, like.
The drummer begins to drum.
No, I don't buy that people would be picking on that guy in school, but this guy, he's got the physique of Spider-Man. I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was a little too bulky. He looks like a kid, and he's jacked but also skinny, which is kind of
out of the 30-something odd Spider-Man movies Sony was planning, I'm glad that they went with this one. But this is definitely a very non-MCU MCU.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but this is Horatio's memorial service, and I do want to honor his final wishes, which he actually asked that his ashes be scattered on the set of the take.
Oh, this isn't the set of the take. This is the quick take.
I think the quick take he was more proud of than his work on the take.
We did one.
Yeah, well, I think he just appreciated the fact that I wasn't there for it. No. It's kind of a weird request because I feel like if Horatio was here behind camera, he really wouldn't want me throwing stuff, dirtying up the set, because he was always kind of, you know,
a stickler
really
about that.
But you know, you gotta respect his final wishes.
Well, he's here with us. Let's just
R.I.P. buddy.
R.I.P. Horacio. I'm not gonna touch his ashes.
When you're ready.
All right, Dan, so what are you going to give Spider-Man Homecoming?
You know what? I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 fidget spinners. Spider-Man fidget spinners.
And I'm going to give it 4.5 Marisa Tomeis. Well, I mean, going forward, I don't know how I feel about the Disney version of the MCU and kind of what Disney's been doing lately with their properties, but I mean, if Sony wants to continue doing things like this, I'm okay with it.
What's going on?
You're alive?
What the hell is this,
What
man?
the? Whoa! This is an issue, Dan.
Always crashing our sets.
Dan killed the guy. That's not that is the least of our issues. Dan killed the guy. Well, you got to see Spider-Man before you died. What are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 Tom Holland's in the yellow jacket. Spider-Man's in the yellow jacket.
Spider-Man's in the yellow jacket. All right, well, since Dan killed the guy and Horacio's here, I say we wrap it up.
Horatio, I will clean all this.